Hi, I hope you're doing great. In this video I want to talk to you about the filter function in Python and how this is an amazing higher order function that can do a lot of different things. So a brief description of the filter function is that it takes in a list and another function and then filters out the elements in the list based on the function. So in essence it takes in a list of things and then it filters out some of them, leaving us only with a few of them left. And we can completely control which one we want to filter out. So for this, I think it's best to look at an example. So let's again consider our list of numbers. So let me just copy this. This is our list of numbers. What I want to do is just to filter out all the even numbers, leaving us only with the odd ones. One can do this, first of all, with a for loop. This is just to illustrate that the filter function is not really something scary. We can achieve this with a basic for loop as well, but you'll see that this is a bit cumbersome. So let me consider all the odd numbers versus an empty list. And then for each number in the list of numbers, then we check simply if the number is divisible by 2. So if it's not divisible by 2, that means it leaves a remainder of 1. Then we can take our odds list and we can simply add to it the number. Otherwise, we do nothing. So now if I print the odds, then you can see here that the odd numbers here are 15 and 23. So we essentially filtered out all the even numbers. So this works fine, but it's a lot of lines of code just to do something very, very basic. So with the filter function, we can do this a lot quicker. So we make our odds, and now we do the filter function. So this should take in 2 arguments. The second argument should just be the list of numbers. The first argument should be a function specifying if we should drop a certain entry or keep it in the list. So we need a function, let's call it isOdd. And such a function needs to return a Boolean value. So this will simply return whether the number is divisible by 2. So if the number is an even number, then this thing here will be false. If it's an odd number, then it will be true. So if I now just put in isOdd as a function, then this will essentially take this function, apply it to each element in my list. Then I will have a list of booleans being true or false, and the filter function essentially just keeps the ones that have the value true. So if I print this out, and you can see that I've gotten a filter object. So this is a generator for those who know. And if you don't know, that's completely fine. We can always convert this into a list with a list constructor. And now this gives us exactly the same thing as the for loop approach. However, we can do this even shorter. Because we don't need to define an external function, we can just use a lambda function. So we can just use lambda, it sends a number to number modulo 2 is equal to 1. And now I can just delete this whole thing. And this single line here does the same as these 4 lines. And in my opinion, it's a lot more readable than doing the for loop approach. So the way I would read this is we take our list of numbers and we filter out based on this condition here. So to get more familiar with the filter function, let's do 2 more examples. So here, let's do an example with removing small words. So I have a list of greetings, and I want to just keep the ones that are small. I don't want a very long greeting, I want just small ones. So this is really easy to do with a filter. So I need a function, and I'll just specify a lambda function. Each of these messages I have here, let's call them x, should be kept if the length is less than 5. So this is the function, and the array is of course the greetings. And this is it. Again, now I'll get a filter object, so let me just pass this into a list constructor. If I print my short greetings, you can see that I have 1 too many parentheses here. This should be fine. Yeah. So now I get heyo and sup because they are both of length less than 5. So for a final example, I just wanted to do an example with Pokemon again. So here I have a list of dictionaries, which I just called a list of Pokemon, and each of these entries in the list is a dictionary with the name of a Pokemon, the Pokédex number, and the type of the Pokemon. Say now that I want to select all the water Pokemon in this list. Before we do this, if you take a look at this short video, then you can see that this is actually not too far-fetched. Here we're sorting out the Pokemons by specifying that I want all the water Pokemons back. So every time someone asks you, can you get me back like a sub-collection of what you have with a specified property, then you should immediately think of filtering out, and using the filter function could be a good approach. So in our case, we want the water Pokemon. this should be filter, and since I already know that I should have a list constructor, let's just have it from the beginning. So inside the filter function, I need as a second argument my lists of Pokemon. Hope I spelled that correctly. Yeah. And then I need a function. I'll do an anonymous function or a lambda function here. And what I want to do is to return if the Pokemon's type. So then I'm going into each of these Pokemons, I'm looking into the type, and I want to check if this is water. If it is, I want to keep it. If not, I don't want to keep it. So by running it, it seems fine. And if I now print the water Pokemon, then I get back just Squirtle because that has the type of water. The other ones don't have this property, so they're simply filtered out. This is really what I wanted to say about the filter function. Again, notice that this is really within this higher order functions approach, and passing one function, namely this lambda function, into another one, namely the filter function. If you're interested in more videos on higher order functions in Python, then check out the link in the description for a full Skillshare course. Thanks, and I hope to see you soon.